Happy Halloween! Now let's take a look at the new releases, including RoboCop. Hello, and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stephen. Please like, share, and subscribe. Here are the games for the week of October 31st, 2023.
The first game on our list is Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up, content descriptions, fantasy balance, and language. This is an adventure game in which players assume the role of a child on a quest to find her mother in an icy land. From a third person's perspective, players traverse icy scapes, solve puzzles, and battle forces of Ice Witch. Players use Yeti's sweep attacks and freeze breath to defeat guards and fancy creatures in melee style combat. Battles are sometimes frantic, accompanied by impact sounds, screen shaking effects, and cries of pain. The word pissed appears in-game. Next up is PlateUp. This is coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone. Content descriptions, alcoholic references. This is a cooking game in which players prep, cook, and serve dishes to fill customers' orders. Players earn money by serving dishes in a timely manner and can use their earnings to purchase upgrades and new equipment. Text within the game can sometimes reference alcohol. Now let's take a look at RoboCop Rogue City. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions, blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, strong language, and use of drugs. This is a first-person shooter which players assume the role of RoboCop as he battles criminals and enemies in a fictionalized Detroit. Players traverse the city to investigate crime scenes, solve mysteries, and interact with characters, and fight criminals. Players use pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, and melee attacks to kill enemies in frantic combat. Battles are accompanied by realistic gunfire, cries of pain, large blood splatter effects. Some attacks result in partial decapitation, explosion attacks cause enemies to burst into pieces, a handful of sequences depict additional acts of violence and gore, a hostage thrown out of a window, a close-up view of a murdered victim's head wound, characters tied to a chair and repeatedly beaten, a police officer shot multiple times, a character's hand shot off. The game contains some sexual material. The characters references strippers and prostitutes, a bed with handcuffs attached to it, a portrait of a woman in bondage, a female character dancing in front of a pole, with men cheering on, signs that read XXX, girls, girls, and Route 69. Several plotlines revolve around the fictional illegal drug called Nuke. A villain discusses dealing the drug, sometimes to underage users. One cutscenes depict characters high or being injected with Nuke. Swear words appear in-game. The next game on our list is Star Ocean, the second story R. It's on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. Content descriptions, fantasy violence, mild blood, mild language, mild suggestive themes, and use of alcohol. This is a role-playing game in which players control heroes attempting to save their planet from destruction. From a third person's perspective, players explore various worlds while performing quests and battling enemies. Players use swords, guns, sticks, and melee attacks to defeat enemies. Combat is fast-paced at times, highlighted by gunfire, impact sounds, and explosions. Cutscenes depict in further acts of violence and or blood, a character injured by a bomb, a character shooting a firebolt at another, bodies line in pools of blood. The dialogue contains some innuendo and suggestive material. During the course of the game, players can encounter drunken characters slurring and hiccuping in taverns. Swear words appear in-game. Now let's get our Smurf on in The Smurfs 2, The Prisoner of Greenstone. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions, fantasy violence. This is a third-person shooter which players assume the role of a Smurf on a mysterious island in Gamla's hovel. Players traverse through whimsical environments, destroy crystals, and use Smurf-o-boom weapons to defeat cartoony creatures. Players frequently shoot at enemies using the Smurf boom, or defeat enemies using melee-style jump attacks. Battles are fast-paced at times, highlighted by screen-shaking effects, laser-style gunfire, and impact sounds. Both boss battles contain more proactive combat with targeting crosshairs. Now let's dive deep into the Talos Principle II. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions, alcohol references, and language. This is a first-person puzzle game in which players explore pathological themes and engage in various challenges. Players search ruins and ancient temples while using various objects to bypass obstacles. The dialogue contains some references to alcohol. Swear words are heard in-game. Now let's get up and move with WarioWare Move It. This comes on Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions, crude humor, fantasy violence. This is a collection of action party minigames in which players follow Wario and his friends on a vacation. Players can perform various poses, view cutscenes, and complete minigames, and some involving avoiding enemies and hazards. A handful of minigames involve attacking cartoony robots, slaying monsters, and shooting and hitting enemies. Action is accompanied by whimsical sound effects, impact noises, and small explosions. Boss battles are depicted more protracted combat. A handful of minigames contain instances of crude humor. A cactus character with exposed buttocks emitting flatulence. Characters bumping snowballs with their buttocks. A character dodging pink poo coils. A boss shooting poo coil missiles with plungers. And the last game on today's list is The Invincible. Let's go on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature, content descriptions, strong language, and violence. This is a story-driven adventure game in which players assume the role of a scientist searching for her missing crew. From a first-person perspective, players traverse through alien terrain, engage in radio chatter, interact with robots and drones to uncover mysterious events. Some interactions with robots can lead to instances of violence, a robot destroyed by a cannon blast, a character nearly crushed by a walking tank. Comic-style prints also depict violent imagery, humans getting shot by lasers, robot blasts melting through flesh, a surrendering character disintegrated by energy beams. Swear words are heard in-game. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and email any questions at parentsg2g@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.